and right, what if I just go forward? And we might have done a little bit of this on Monday, where I can't make him go where I want to go, but I can always make him go back, left, right. So if he stops right now, I might just step into him and say, I know you know how to move out of my way. And pretty soon what happens is, because moving out of my way is hard, because it's a tiny circle, pretty soon I can make my circle bigger. And Nugget says, all right, well, I know when I'm with you, I get to rest, so I'm just going to start staying with you regardless of where you go. So those circles, those inside and outside turns, become my join-up. Again, I can make him start moving his feet left or right, and then once those feet are moving, I can just start walking. Now, eventually, I don't want to have to use that left and right circle. I want to just be here and say, all right, Nugget, let's go to walk. But again, if I ever had to, if he ever stopped, I could say, well, let's try to go left or right. And now this is my join-up, where I say halt, he halts. I say walk, and he walks. So this was probably where we ended. Or maybe we got to this early on in Tuesday's session. So, and again, so far, Monday, Tuesday, we've spent all of our time on this left side or on his near side. So then Tuesday, the second thing we would have done is, okay, all right, Nugget, now I'm going to send you out because I have to now do everything on this off side. So I'm going to ask him to go, not as a consequence, so he doesn't have to canter, but I need to practice this field joining up on the inside. And this is what he really had. It took us about a half hour on Tuesday to kind of solidify this. So when I call him in, I need to be able to approach him on this side. What he tried to do was turn and face me, but put me back on the other side. So let's see what he does right here. So I'm going to call him in. Perfect. So see how he's kind of straight on? What he did on Tuesday was he turned more than 90 degrees, so he put me back on that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to approach him. And he has to, see how he's trying to guard this shoulder?
Yeah.
He has to let me approach him on this side. So he had a real hard time with that on Tuesday. He wanted me to go on that side. So he turned more this way. And now we're over here, which is perfect. Now I gotta get those turns here at his offside. So here's the outside turn. And again, we're just gonna compare them, and you can clearly see that this isn't quite as smooth. It's not bad. It's getting better.
And way better than it was.
Yeah. And then here's our inside turn. What you're going to see is he's going to try to kind of come past my arm to put me back on that other side. I'm just keeping my hand there, saying you're not allowed to do that. And we want this to become just as smooth as the other side, where now we can start going forward. And will he join up with us? When we walk, and we, if he stops, we're just going to try to get his feet moving with a circle again. Until this is just as normal or natural as life on the other side. So that's probably where we finished. We didn't have it Tuesday. We had to join up, but he wasn't joining. He wasn't walking with us. Probably midway through Wednesday's session. So now what I want to be able to do is just walk. So just like at the clinic, there's my cue to walk. Here's my cue to halt. Here's my cue to back. If he doesn't back, I'm just going to ask him, was that tap? And he has to make a choice, run away or back. And I don't want to have to tap him, so we're going to do it again until I get it without the tap. Here's my halt. Thank you. And that's why I like this so much better than that shaking of the halter, because with shaking his halter, it never gets to where I do it without the aid. It's just my body and my presence.
Yeah, it's a big difference between the two.
So we've got our joint up, we've got our walking around both sides. Again, now we're just looking to start adding, what can I do to try to get you to run away? So my job is to make him nervous, his job is to deal with being nervous and not leave. And because I know he'll join up with me, if I do something and then ask him to walk and he does it, kind of like he's doing now, I know I've made him a little bit nervous. So this rope makes him a little bit nervous. How do I measure that? Well, he's not the same horse dragging the rope as he is without dragging the rope.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it really has nothing to do with the rope. The rope puts him in a state of mind where he thinks about not walking with me. He thinks about saying no. If I do this over and over and over again, pretty soon it won't matter what the cause is. He'll just be used to getting afraid. But he'll say, if I just stay with Pete, life gets easy. And that's really all the rope is doing right now, is it's just making him a little bit hesitant to commit to this joint.
You know, one of the problems I've had is not recognizing when he is worried.
Yep. And that's why we do everything at Liberty, because the halter can't help hide that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's so important that I get something as a baseline, this join up, because I'm using that forever for the rest of the training to decipher, where's your mind at?
Mm-hmm.
The same thing, this isn't about rushing, it's about, pretty soon I'm going to do this on the cross sides. Will you stand perfect? So we won't rush him on the cross sides until I'm sure that regardless of who's doing this, he'll stand perfect. At any point, I should be able to give him that kiss. So I told him to give me his okay, so there he goes. If he does that another week from now, again, see how he's protecting this side?
Yeah.
Go back to work. So I asked him to give me his attention. When he did, he tried to change sides. Maybe that's enough of a consequence. We'll try it again. If he does it again, it tells me that wasn't enough of a consequence. I like how he's not trying to block this side as I approach him. Then I'll ask him again. Anytime you see him take an extra step, it means he's doing it, but he's still a little nervous doing it.
Mm-hmm.
First, he should stop there. If he backs up, or that second time he didn't give me that extra backing up step. Same thing with his feet. Let's say he's a jerk to the farrier. Well, I need to be able to do his feet out here. Nobody holding it, then maybe the farrier has a chance to do his feet. If he's ever been a jerk with this will help. And if he's been perfect, well, we do it a couple days, don't waste much time. And he just has to prove to us that he'll do it a couple days out here, and then pretty soon he'll come to me already all brushed, his feet are already done.
Like, he's being way better with his front feet than he is sometimes.
Yeah.
He can paw,
Okay.
but
So
like
if
that's,
he paws, we just send him back to work.
okay,
If he paws on the cross ties, they stop doing it, put him in a stall and say, oh, he needs more work out here.
uh-huh.
So, yeah, we never want any of those behaviors we wanted to go away, so.
Just a time question.
Yeah. Now we're gonna start, again, we're gonna pretend he's never been saddled. So we're gonna put one piece of equipment on.
And is this the first time you
No, I
put it on?
saddled him yesterday, so I'll show you where we stopped
Okay.
yesterday. So normally I wouldn't do this today because he did it yesterday, but I just wanna show you. Put one piece on, do I have that joint? So if I put this pad on and he doesn't follow me, doesn't join up with me, I have no right putting the saddle on because he's already telling me that that pad makes him nervous. So we're comparing the horse with the pad on to the horse that had without the pad on. So we're always comparing him to that baseline that we developed. My job is just to take it off, put it on. Every time I take it off, we kind of release that pressure. And again, we want to make sure that for the rest of his life, when you put the pad on the cross ties, there's no residual anxiety. And the reason I said I wouldn't do it today if you weren't here is just because he did it yesterday, he did it perfect by the end. So we're not gonna do it again the next day,
Mm-hmm,
unless I felt he needed a review or he didn't really get good at it or whatever.
mm-hmm.
The problem is if I saddle him on the cross ties, bring him out, he's a jerk. Is it the pad? Is it the saddle? Is
Yeah.
it the girth? What is it that's getting in the way?
So when he paws in the cross tie area at my barn,
Yeah.
what I've been doing is taking him off the cross ties and asking him to disengage. And then if he did it again, I would go around twice and ask him to disengage 2
Yeah.
revolutions. I mean, do you think that's,
It depends. Did it make the pond go away? If it did make the pond go away, I'd say no. I would say no. It's not a good course of action. If it made the pond go away that day, but then not consistently day after day,
yeah,
then it could mean you have to do it more, or it could mean that he's still not convinced that it's worthy enough to stop the behavior.
okay,
Yeah. So if you find that you're doing it 4, 5, 6, 7 times in a session, then to me, he's telling you that's not a real good motivator.
okay,
So you could try something else. You could say, all right, let's back up. Instead of disengaging, I'm just going to unhitch you and back you up. Sometimes the problem is, by the time you unhitch him, the consequences aren't connected enough to the behavior.
oh,
So if he's pawing
Yeah.
and it takes you 3 seconds to unhitch him,
yeah,
he might say, why are you backing me up or disengaging me? I didn't do anything wrong. He's
Yeah.
not connecting the bad behavior or the unwanted behavior with the work. And that's always a possibility. So
yeah,
out here, it's instantaneous. So if you were to paw, it's immediate. I'm setting up. I don't need to unhitch you. I don't need to. Right now, if he stopped or if he kicked out at me, or let's say he bit me right now, I wouldn't worry about the saddle falling off. It's go to work. The saddle's going to fall off. No big deal. So it's always, the consequences always come very close to the behavior. He's pretty wide. I might have to use my wider saddle. So right there, he was sniffing or looking at the girth. There's nothing inherently wrong with looking at the girth until I kissed to him and said, let's go. If he continued to investigate the girth, I would have had to send him on.
mm-hmm,
Again, not sniffing the girth is not bad, but not stopping that activity to come with me when I kissed you is bad. Perfect. So then will come our time to cinch up. So again, the philosophy is always how many steps can I put between where he's at and where I want to get to. So I want to get him cinched up. If I do it all in one go, is that the best case scenario? Well then, I run the risk that he's going to take off. So what we're going to do is I'm going to run this. And again, we're just treating him as if he's never been saddled. I'm going to do all my work here. If he's going to go, I want him to go now. Because if I let this go here, the saddle just falls off, no harm done. So it makes him a little uncomfortable, but he's choosing not to go, which is perfect. The minute I go around twice, now the saddle's attached to him. If he takes off now, the saddle's going to come under his belly, and I got like a week and a half to fix that. So I'm going to go from here to cinched up as quick as I can. Because if he goes now, I'm kind of at his mercy. If he takes a step right now, I won't make him run. I'll try to get to here as quick as I can. And now I'd send him off if he went, if he started walking.
Mm-hmm.
And now I want to reward him, so I take it off. And then I'll cinch him up again. I want this to be, again, is any of this making you nervous? If the answer is yes, well, we gotta spend more time here.
I don't know if he's ever had a Western saddle on before, but do you notice the horses carrying one way or the other, really?
Usually if they go one, they'll be all right. Sometimes if they've only had an English saddle on where it's a little lighter, and then you go to a Western one, it's a little heavier, you get a little reaction, but more often than not, if it was done well, it doesn't matter what it is. So again, we take it off, cinch him back up. Every time, there's the licking and chewing. Every time I can reward him, so again, a lot of people see this training and say there's no positive reinforcement, no reward. The reward or the positive reinforcement is I relieve that pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he's a little tense now, maybe he's a little upset. This is his reward. All right, you handled it, let's take it off. And a lot of trainers don't do that. They get them saddled once and then, all right, we gotta learn we can't buck it off. We would rather the horse doesn't buck at all. So my job is, I don't want him to ever buck. If he bucks, it means I kind of skipped a step or I asked him to do too much that he was ready for. Not that you're going to always get every horse not to buck, but our goal is only give him as much as he can handle every day, pushing that line down the road. So now what I'm going to do is I know he saddles, but if I send him off right now, well, I went from saddling to trotting or cantering around. What if I were to just say, will you walk with me? Then we'd say maybe he's a little more hesitant. The ears are back, he's not quite as forward.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we've changed his behavior a little. So instead of sending him off and making him buck because we pushed him all the way to that canter, why not spend a little time getting this joint up right back where it was? And again, it wasn't awful, it was just a little bit slow. He's a little bit behind me, I want him up next to me more like he was. There he goes. So maybe saddling him, he went from stress level 0 to stress level 2.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much that he bucked or ran away, but he was just a smidge more alert. So now we relieve that pressure. Tell him life is okay. And then do it again. And this time here, I'm hoping that the first time we walk off, he's a little bit. If I have to, I can do my circles again. Say, hey, let's focus. Focus on me, not on that saddle. Take his mind off what's making him nervous. Again, if you went right now, I'd have to send him off, but I'm trying not to yet.
Mm-hmm.
We could say that this turn isn't quite as sharp with the saddle on as it was without the saddle on. Thank you. Thank you.
So even just that momentary release is enough.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a lot. We're just going back, resetting those expectations. There's some more licking and chewing. There's a little sigh. Kind of did some licking and chewing. So again, maybe we went from that stress being level 1 to now level 0. Just undid a little bit of it. Or maybe he was getting bored with it. I really don't know. We're just kind of taking his behavior, seeing, was he a little different being saddled? I would say he was a little bit, not huge, but just a little. You can go back and throw the rope over and say, okay, now you've got the rope and the saddle. And he wants to try to get behind me, and I'm just not letting him kind of hide behind me.
He seems like he's looking to the outside. Is he looking at?
He's looking at that rope because it's hitting his hip as he walks around.
Okay.
And he's saying, what is that back there? So I want him aware of his surroundings, but what I don't want is because he's looking at the rope to come into my space. And that's kind of what he was doing in the beginning.
Okay.
He was trying to come at me into my space because something made him uncomfortable. Now it's going to hit him that outside hip on this side. You'll probably see him bring his shoulder into my space and want to look to the outside. There it goes. Perfect. So we've done our homework. We've tried to. He's the same horse walking with the saddle on as he is without it. So now we are going to send him out because we want to see what does he do when he moves his feet with the saddle. So all of that stuff was an effort to not make him buck. Now, it doesn't mean he's not going to. He still might. But we can decrease how many horses feel the need to buck. So I'm going to send him out. And I want him to be the same horse.
So did he do this yesterday, or this is new?
No, I finished with what you just saw.
Okay.
So this is kind of the new part today. So as we look at him going around, we say, is he the same horse trotting around with the saddle on as he was without it? Maybe the head's up a little more. He looks a little bit more concerned. But he's not cantering, he's not bucking. Perfect. We're going to take it through our turns. Now, if we start, we know he knows the turns because he just showed us he did. If he starts missing the turns now or getting them wrong, it just means that the saddle has all his attention. So here's the outside turn. So now we're comparing the horse saddle to the horse I had before we saddled him. Here's the outside turn. Pretty good. There's some licking and chewing. He's saying life isn't so bad. Here's our inside turn. That was nice. I kind of put some pressure on him, got a little bit quicker step when he did canter. Inside turn. to ask him to canter just so I can see him canter with the saddle on, but it's not going to be a consequence. So as soon as he picks up the canter, I'm going to take the pressure off and see how long he feels the need to canter. Perfect. I take the pressure off. He should come back down to that shot pretty quick. If that, if I made him canter and then he continued to canter 5 times around, well then we'd say, all right, there's some anxiety. So again, make the canter. Just to see it, any crow hopping, bucking in there, no, it's short-lived. As soon as I take that pressure off. So I don't want people to think you can never make them canter, but there's a difference between cantering as a punishment and me just saying, hey, I want to see if I can put a little pressure on you. There's the canter, you canter, so I take the pressure off. I'm not going to make him go around 8 times just because I'm nervous of what he might do. So it's short-lived. And we would say he's pretty near the same horse on the rail. So whatever you've done as far as saddling and working with the saddle on, you did a nice job, whether it was you or somebody else. You're not seeing any roadblocks or real baggage with the saddle. So. What we can start doing is say, okay, this is good, but can I get more? So instead of going at it, can I kiss? And get him to give me a few more steps. Almost like he did on that Monday where he gave me more on his own. Now I've gotten 4 or 5 more steps out of him, and then I can walk going crazy. So that was the first day that he moved with the saddle on. So what I'll do is I'll do one more thing just because you're here. Normally I'd stop right there. Is my helmet up there? Have you been on him or no?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. I think it's up here. So again, normally we'd say, okay, we pick up there tomorrow. But the next step's kind of cool, so we'll show it to you.
Oh, awesome.
So now we're going to keep that same philosophy and say the next thing that's going to make him nervous is me getting on him. So I don't need anything on his face, because if he goes to step when I go to get on him, I don't want to stop him, I want to send him up.
Mm-hmm.
So not that I ever expect you to do this, you don't have to do this, but if I can mount him here in the middle of our round 10 with nothing on, well then the hope is that whoever's going to ride him can mount him with a bridle, halter, whatever you're going to ride him. We're just going to say, all right, Nugget, this is going to make you nervous probably. Are you going to stand?
Mm-hmm.
He stands, we take the pressure off. So if he's ever not standing at the mounting block or things like that, this is what's going to fix that.
Okay.
Perfect. And again, how many steps can I put into where we are to where we want to get to? I'm just reading his body language. Perfect. Until finally I'm pretty confident, I can say, all right, I'm going to come up and on. Now I could swing my right leg over and sit on him right now. He might be good, probably be good. He seems pretty cool, calm and collected. But then I'm committed to being in the saddle. Why not come over here, and before I commit my butt to being in the saddle, oh, sorry, Nugget, I should have fixed that. Before I commit to being in the saddle, why not do all of that over here? So imagine me doing this when I couldn't even join up with him on this side 2 days ago. This would have been nearly impossible because just standing over here made him nervous. So we'll just do that a few times. For the rest of his life, this is how he has to mount. If you go to ride him and he's not standing like this, then we're going to give you some exercises to do to get this even in hand.
Awesome.
but you're not gonna try to rush to get him, you're not gonna yell to your instructor, hey, can you hold him for me? Because if he's moving, he's already telling you that he's uncomfortable being mounted. So this is our first ride where he stands perfectly still. If you were to take a step right now, I'm jumping off and he's going back to work. Again, not that you ever have to do this, but if I need a halter and lead rope or a bridle to mount him, you're never going to mount him successfully when he's nervous. Or
Oh, this is awesome.
And he should stand here until I give him a cue to do something else. It shouldn't matter. I should be able to put my foot in the stirrup, jump off on this side, jump on this side. This tells us that the mounting is solidified, that he's no more nervous with me on him than with me standing next to him.
Especially mounting from both sides. I mean, that's
Yeah.
huge.
And we just do that because eventually I'm going to put this leg on him and ask him to side pass. If I can't even get on this side, then what? So again, it's really just to make sure that side of his brain has been opened up properly.
You know, I have to say I didn't connect the dots with him being so resistant on his, right side that it was all
Yeah. I believe it.
connected.
Yeah. I'm sure if he's a jerk for the farrier, it was for these feet. If he were more nervous riding, it's when something scared him on this side versus this side. If he were a jerk to fly spray, it was probably on this. So I'm sure everything you did with him, he was a little tougher on this side versus the other side. And it had nothing to do with what you were doing. It was just your body being over here was already setting him up for failure. So.
Yeah, I mean, when I first got him, he was like on steroids about the right side. He wouldn't let me in that eye at all. So I have to say, I thought he was much better than he turned out.
Awful.
No, but I mean, I still didn't realize how far I had to go on that right side.
The minute you take, like you probably always did it with the halter and lead rope.
Yeah,
So you forced him to do it. The minute I took that away, if left to his own devices, he was still saying, it scares me enough to run away.
yeah,
So we had to get it without the aid. So your consequences were, it's okay, don't do it, whatever. But it was never, you're gonna run if you try to protect that shoulder.
yeah,
Until finally he said, all right, go over there. He gave it to me. I wasn't taking it. He gave it to me, and now we're gonna have it for the rest of his life.
that's just so
So it's just
amazing.
And if you look at it kind of like backwards, like your goal was to get to that side, maybe. Your goal was to do whatever on that side. Pick up his feet, fly spray him, brush him, whatever. My goal was, I want to go to that side. That's going to make you nervous. How do you deal when you get nervous? So my goal was not to get over there. If my goal was to get over there, I just put his halter on. I was using that as a way to make him nervous to see what he does when he gets nervous. And there, he's as quiet with me on him as he is with me not on him. So now he's ready to ride. So if we can't get this, we have no right riding him. So you see all those videos online of people yanking their head around. And they're just, again, you're waiting for that catastrophic event to happen.
Yeah, he just
Where
looks
he's
so
just
quiet in
calm,
his mind.
collected. He's like, all right, I'm cool with that. Doesn't mean he's not going to get nervous when I ask him to walk. But if he's already nervous with me mounting, then I ask him to walk, that's when people get hurt.
It's not going to get better.
It's not going to get better.
Yeah,
Here, he's level 0. So right now, whatever, snow could come off the roof, and he might get afraid, but it shouldn't be get afraid and buck and hurt. He might scoot to one side or jump to one side or whatever, but it shouldn't be jump and then buck rear until I fall.
yeah,
That's our hope, is that he can still get afraid. A car backfires, a trailer goes by, the cat runs in, whatever. He's going to get nervous, but it should be a jump in place, and then, okay, because all of this is okay, then it's not going to result in something catastrophic. So if you think about it, the 2 new things today were we sent him off with the saddle, and we got on him. And usually that's two days. So that's an example of what you did with him, or the education you got brought in with him. It just saved us a day of work. So
that's awesome.
And we only did that because he was again, everything about him going around on the rail was quiet. Now, if we had got on him and it turned into a big fight, we would have said, okay, how much more? Because today was probably a day he would have lost it mentally versus physically, because he'd just been out here about 50 minutes or so. So we're pushing up on his mental limitations versus physical.